Right, I'm often a bit reluctant to talk about this, but I've decided that there might be people who will be interested in this type of career opportunity. So I'm going to describe what I do as an ExcelVB solution developer. So my name is Solagbade. Many of you have been following me for a while. If you are a subscriber to my newsletter, then I'm sure what I'm going to talk about now is something you know I've been doing for years. So I'm using this write-up on my blog. You can see my photo right at the top there. I'm using this write-up I think it was in 2016 when I came to Lagos from Cotonou to do a training for members of my Excel Visual Basic Automation Club. Alright, so and basically what I want to do here is to kind of highlight or to kind of explain a diagram in which I showed 5 types of Excel users, and then use it as a basis to explain the options an Excel user can have to become a developer in Excel who makes money doing ExcelVB solution development. Right. So in order to do that, I mean to also prove to you that, or at least give you an idea of how it is possible to build a career as a developer in Excel Visual Basic Solutions, of Excel Visual Basic Solutions, I'm going to speak on this write-up, and I think I highlighted about 2 sales I actually made. It's ironic. I was actually conducting the Maiden edition of my monthly. It was supposed to be a monthly ExcelVB coaching club meeting. So members were, all of them were Nigerians in Nigeria. So I came in from Cotonou to do the training. It was at Sherryville Arcade, opposite First Bank at Ojodebega. So if you're familiar with that area, you know the place I'm describing. All right. So I was doing for them at that time an introduction to ExcelVB automation. So sadly at that time there was not much electricity. There wasn't even any electricity. We didn't have a gen set up at the time when we were starting. So all we had were the laptops, and I don't think I had much power on my phone to use a flash. So you can see the photo there. It doesn't show much, but you see our profiles and you see me standing to the right. I think I had about 5 people or so, 5 or 6 people attending. All right. So what I want to say here is that, first of all, as if the creator wanted me to be able to show, but these are people that knew me already. That's why they came for the training. They had actually purchased some of my solutions before. So it was as if to just demonstrate to them the reality of the experience I was often having as a developer of Excel. I actually got 2 phone calls from potential buyers in the presence of my attendees on that day. One was from a guy who was starting up a farm in Enugu. Even as of this year, he's been in touch with me. So this is 2016, and this is that was back in 2016 when this workshop took place. And this is today. I'm speaking to you on the what's that now? I think the 9th or 10th of November 2021. How many years have passed? About 7 years. And this gentleman called me and wanted to know how he could purchase my ExcelVB Poultry Farm Manager software. Those of you who've been following me, you know about that software. So it's used for management of farms. So, and I replied him, and I recall that I think a few days later, in his own case, he made the payment. But there's another guy who had called me even before then for the first time from the UK, and by the next day he made payment into my account. He made a deposit into my account of the amount I told him to pay for the same software, incidentally. I think those are the screenshots of the emails that I exchanged with the 2 individuals. So you can imagine how that will kind of reinforce the fact that what I was trying to teach my members was something that was a valuable skill they could use to earn income, because I was right in front of them taking calls from people who wanted to buy from me based on the marketing I had done online, which was mostly passive marketing. All right, so it was a good one, and I'm just again mentioning that in this video because I want you to understand. When I started out in 2003, nobody believed I could make money from this. It was something I was doing in paid employment. I started with Lotus 1, 2, 3, and I left my bright career job, because I felt I had at that point in time been promoted into a senior management position, kind of lower senior management position at the time, and I felt, look, there wasn't much of a challenge anymore, because I had been working with senior managers literally from my first year in the company, due to the fact that I had this spreadsheet programming skills. They really open. And then of course I was extremely good at my job as a brewer and then as a training manager, so I got a lot of opportunity to travel, to get promoted, to go on secondments. I felt, man, I need something else. I wanted to really explore entrepreneurship as a developer of spreadsheet software solutions. And so I took the leap of faith and I came out. And it wasn't easy when I started, but believe me, today I live my dreams. So I'm only sharing this with you because I believe that maybe some people who might want to explore this opportunity now with the COVID-19 fallout, a lot of people the traditional career opportunities are no longer existent. So a skills-based approach to life, skills acquisition-based approach to life is what is being preached. And so more and more people are embracing that. But people still are going for the conventional types of skills, and they're not thinking of things like this. Coding skills, but coding in spreadsheet solution development. Not just coding, but coding in spreadsheet, because it's a unique type, and you'll see why I'm pointing out the fact that coding for spreadsheet solution development is different, because there are even aspects of solution development in spreadsheet that do not even require you to use code at all. And some people, one of the types of users I'm going to describe soon, tend to want to use coding to solve such problems, and then we point out to them that you need to let Microsoft Excel be Excel. Use the available spreadsheet functions to make that automation happen. You don't need to use code for that. So I just want to let me just mention that people like Pierre Leclerc, an MVP, a Microsoft most valuable professional, who specializes in ExcelVB programming and uses Access sometimes. I don't know if he still does that. And he had a website that I actually discovered, and it enabled me to take my work to the next level. Then later on, I found the the Professional Excel Development publication. Was by 3 gentlemen. They are regarded as some of the leading developers in ExcelVB in the world. Stephen Bullen, if I recall correctly, Rob Bovey, and John Green. I think those are the 3 names. So they published Professional Excel Development. I bought it. I actually pleaded with my brother-in-law, who is based in London, Shegun, to help me purchase it from Amazon.com. I think I sent him the link, and then he arranged to have it delivered to me locally in Nigeria. I think I was in Nigeria then. So I bought that book, and believe me, what it did for me was to open my eyes to the use of API calls and things like that, some very advanced functions, and I applied them in developing new applications that really enabled me to win a higher profile of clients. Now what I want to show you here, apart from mentioning the book, is the fact that some people do not understand that they how do I put this down? If you're going to do ExcelVB development, you need to have the right mindset. So first of all, to do ExcelVB development, how well you can do it or how effective you can be at doing it will be a function of what your level of proficiency in the use of Excel is. So there's an aspect of Excel solution development that requires you to master the spreadsheet functions and spreadsheet computation capabilities, and then there's an aspect of it that requires you to know how to use coding to take the output to kind of get Excel to do even more. So what you're seeing on screen now is a mind map that shows 5 levels of ExcelVB solutions competence that I offer support to achieve. Now these 5 levels, I came up with them based on the categorizations I saw in the Professional Excel Development, what I call the Excel Bible, that I said Stephen Bullen, Rob Bovey, and John Green published. And as you see it on your screen here, I won't really bother to elaborate. It's actually something you can study, and I'm going to put in a link in the description box. And most probably, I think I'll try and see if I can convert it also to a PDF, but I'll put a link in the description box for you to read this article you're seeing on the screen. You can just get the URL, it's right in the description box. You can actually read through it and then download this mind map, and study it at your own convenience. It's self-explanatory, but I just want to focus, and I'm going to use the case study of a gentleman from India that contacted me to show what I mean. I want to focus on the third level of user, VBA developer. So these are people that are often power users who they started VBA very early and probably learned VB6. Then they later switched on to what's it called, VBA development. In other words, they had VB6, Visual Basic 6 coding skills, and then switch to VBA development, that is development of applications in office, and development of using coding anyway to control office applications. Now, because of their mindset, where most of their introduction to the solution development with applications like Excel came up, most of them, they actually started with coding. Right, so they often think that they need to use coding to solve every problem. So as a result, some things that they kind of end up reinventing the wheel. So something that normally could just be easily addressed using some of the advanced database functions in Excel or some other advanced calculation functions, and even some spreadsheet features, they don't do that. Instead, they go and use code and try to sometimes even put in formatting on the spreadsheets that they want to use coding to do that, which is ridiculous. So as a result, they get cumbersome and slow solutions, making poor use of the Excel object model, and so they effectively, like I said, reinvent the wheel. Now, what I do when I teach ExcelVB is I coach people on best practice worksheet design, and I talk about the Excel features for data entry. There are spreadsheet functions, that can be used to create an impression or to kind of create effect that amounts to automation, and you don't need to use coding to achieve that. I've done quite a lot of that. There's some database functions that make all of those kind of things possible. So there are Excel features and functions that allow you to do advanced data entry, data retrieval, analysis, presentation. Then you have, of course, advanced coaching techniques, best practice ways of doing Visual Basic for application coding, and even the way you can use the macro recorder to generate code, but then you can kind of clean up the code, make it more efficient, so I can get improved performance, faster execution of code and all that. So these VBA developers don't usually understand this, and so they tend to do a lot of coding when they could have easily solved the problem without even needing to do a line of code, or probably using like half of the volume of code they put out. So in order to show you an example of that, I'm going to show you on the screen now. What you're seeing here is actually the description of a request I got from a business user in India, and this gentleman turned out to be a very intriguing character, because he kept thinking, I don't know, the Indians have always been like that when they interact with me. I don't know what's the problem with them. They tend to think they can just ignore what you're saying at the terms and conditions for providing your solution and just get you to do what they want. Well, I think it's left to each person to decide how you want to be treated, so I never accepted that. Anyway, he came up and said he wanted me to help him with a bit of code which he said he needed modified to do something different from what the original writer of the code had done. And so he sent me the code, but I told him I would only do it if he gave me consent to use whatever I did for him and his material in a coaching tutorial video for my clients, and he agreed. So if on your screen, I just want to show you what an example of what a VBA solutions, a person who has a tendency to do a lot of coding when he could have actually used best practice spreadsheet functionalities to solve a problem. They tend to settle for coding upfront without even investigating whether it can be achieved without using so much code. So you look at the top there, here you can see the original code snippet that he sent me, and basically he was trying to copy some sections of a spreadsheet to another area. And if you look at the bottom one, this one here, all right, so this was a modified code I sent to him. Now I'm going to probably have to do a separate video, or maybe I'll just share the video itself. I think the next video I'm going to do, I'm going to actually publish the video I sent to him, in which I explained the lines of code there. But I just want you to see what I wrote to him. So here I say above is the lower part of the message I sent him, all right, with my modified code workbook attached. So the workbook is there. I'm going to provide it in the description box for the next video when I actually publish the video that I sent to him. All right, so I told you here in this upper portion, I explained to him how he will be able to extract the video from a zip folder. Now then, in the video I explained to him what the issues were with the code he sent to me, and why I felt that the person that wrote the code tended to be the kind of person that settled for coding as against wanting to understand how the spreadsheet model will work for him without needing to code at all. So alright, so yeah, if you look here, you see his response to me after he received what I sent to him. I think it's a perfect. Thanks a lot, nice officer. I shall again take your help if I need in future, and I'm sure you shall. You have won my heart. I didn't know what it was about here, but I just told him straight away, this is not happening again, So, but the thing is, I solved this problem. So in the next video, right after this video, I'm going to publish. I need to convert that video from it was in flash format SWF, so I'm going to have to convert it to an MP4 and I'll upload it so you can see the explanation I gave and how I solved the problem and how the workbook functioned. And I'll put a download link to the workbook containing my coded alternative solution in the description link for that next video that's going to follow this one, so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So here, what I've done in this video is just to show you those different kind of levels of users, and also to kind of just introduce an example of how I solved the problem for a total stranger that contacted me from, I think he said it was that is it Kettle, Nagpur in India. That's where he said it was from. For me, as I said before, the model I choose to operate, I think it's important for people to understand. Those of us that are in this part of the world, we don't have the benefit of maybe low cost or even sometimes free internet that you guys have. We pay through our noses for connectivity. So when I'm online, I cannot afford to just make myself available to be doing things for people. There are so many thousands of people that are already developers and Excel experts who are offering to do that. I don't see a need for me to join that group. Instead, what I do is I provide kind of customized, experience-based solutions to people who are willing to connect with me based on my own terms. And it's not like I ask people to pay all the time. It's just that for me to go to a certain level with you, if I see it's going to require too much of my time and effort, then you need to kind of come on board in my ExcelVB club, and then I'll do that, and then it will benefit other people as well. And anybody who wants me to do more than that would simply have to pay me to do that. It's simple. There are no apologies for it. That's just the reality I face here. So I don't operate the same way you do. I don't have access to the same resources you have. And some of you are in some parts of the world where you don't even pay for any internet connectivity at all. We are here paying considerable sums to do that. So we simply cannot offer you the services in the same way. Alright, so watch out for the next video. Once it comes out, you're going to see the video. It's going to be the video of me demonstrating to this gentleman how I created an alternative for him in terms of coding, and showing how that the coded solution was a better one compared to what he had before. All right.